implants in our bodies, we can break down the alcohol in seconds. No stupor, no hangover. We can just toss them back while waiting for orders. If man realizes technology is within reach, he achieves it, like it's damn near instinctive. Look at us, for example. We're state-of-the-art. Controlled metabolisms, computer-enhanced brains, cybernetic bodies. Not long ago, this was science fiction. So what if we can't survive without regular high-level needs? Who are we to complain? I suppose an occasional tune-up is a small price to pay for all this.
I'm afraid we've both signed our bodies and ghosts away to Section 9.
True. If we ever quit or retire, we'd have to give back our augmented brains and cyborg bodies. There wouldn't be much left after that. There are countless ingredients that make up the human body and mind, like all the components that make up me as an individual with my own personality. Sure, I have a face and voice to distinguish myself from others, but my thoughts and memories are unique only to me, and I carry a sense of my own destiny. Each of those things are just a small part of it. I collect information to use in my own way. All of that blends to create a mixture that forms me and gives rise to my consciousness. I feel confined, only free to expand myself within boundaries. It's like a dim image in the mirror. What we see now is like a dim image in the mirror. Then we shall see face to face. Thanks to chemical implants in our bodies, we can break down the alcohol in seconds. No stupor, no hangover. We can just toss them back while waiting for orders. If man realizes technology is within reach, he achieves it, like it's damn near instinctive. Look at us, for example. We're state-of-the-art. Metabolisms, computer-enhanced brains, cybernetic bodies. Not long ago, this was science fiction. So what if we can't survive without regular high-level needs? Who are we to complain? I suppose an occasional tune-up is a small price to pay for all this.
I'm afraid we've both signed our bodies and ghosts away to Section 9.
True. If we ever quit or retire, we'd have to give back our augmented brains and cyborg bodies. There wouldn't be much left after that. There are countless ingredients that make up the human body and mind, like all the components that make up me as an individual with my own personality. Sure, I have a face and voice to distinguish myself from others, but my thoughts and memories are unique only to me, and I carry a sense of my own destiny. Each of those things are just a small part of it. I collect information to use in my own way. All of that blends to create a mixture that forms me and gives rise to my consciousness. I feel confined, only free to expand myself within boundaries. It's like a dim image in the mirror. What we see now is like a dim image in the mirror. Then we shall see face to face.
But wait! There's more! Hang on to your seat, baby! Cause this one's a screamer!
Yes, because baby just wants a squeama. All right, folks, welcome to another Creepy Cryptids, and we're going to be doing about the Rocky Mountains and maybe some of the other mountain ranges. We'll see where we get. So let's bring in our guests. And let's start with Dave, what do we do? Is I hope that's yours. If not, I feel no, that's somebody. Oh, God damn it. What do we have for your intro? God damn it, Dave. I feel like we have something. Anyways, let's go ahead with this, and then I'll feel like an idiot if I have something and I didn't play it. What do we normally do for your intro, Dave?
We didn't really have anything, but
okay.
You got the dancing Bigfoot girl, don't you?
Yeah, and we definitely have that. But let's do that in a second, because I don't have that. What's it been called up? But anyways, how are y'all doing?
Doing good, mate. Doing good. How are
Doing
you?
Good. Hello, everybody.
Hello. Yes, good. All right, so let's just do a couple intro-y thingies, and then we'll do the things and stuffs. And we're totally going to be playing the Bigfoot Girl. It's always going to be a part of the cryptid stuff.
Disclaimer: the views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers, commentators, experts, and/or hosts. They do not explicitly or necessarily reflect nor represent the channel's policy or the views held by this channel or broadcaster. The broadcaster or its channel cannot be held accountable for all or any views expressed during this program.
It's just like Killer Cop 4, but she's got Hema instead of fry cook balls. I need you, Action Bastard. Action Bastard, I need you. Action Bastard, I need you. Why am I wasting time dancing?
You want to know why? Because the world is fucking flat, dog. And everything that you see up there, as far as like planets or stars, yeah, guess what, dude? It's fucking fake. It's just lights up there. The government put those lights up there so you dummies could just act like there's something up there.
Wait a second, are you a flat earther?
Call a crackhead. You're stupid. Yeah.
Yeah, you're stupid. All right, so let's go ahead and do this, and we will, like I said, show the definite proof of female Sasquatch.
I've been told I'm crazy, yeah, I've heard it all before. They laugh at me in town when I tell them what I saw for sure. It wasn't late night in the backwoods, I swear I wasn't alone. Bigfoot was out there moving like a shadow, and then he was gone.
Yeehaw!
Up in the sky, saw a life flying fast. Don't care if they believe me, cause I know what passed. I believe in Bigfoot and UFOs. There's more out there than we'll ever know. In the deep dark woods or the stars up high, there's a mystery written in the midnight sky. They can call me crazy, say I'm out of my mind, but I've seen the proof with my own two eyes. I believe in Bigfoot and UFOs. Some things are real, even if they don't show. I've heard the stories down in who rolled the trees, leaving giant footprints, a legend on the breeze. And those lights up in the night, they ain't from this world, making crop circles and dipping through the swirl. You can call it fiction, you can say it's fake, but I'll be out here watching by the fire in the lake.
We're gonna do one more.
I believe in Bigfoot and UFOs. There's more out there than we'll ever know. In the deep dark woods or the stars up high, there's a mystery written in the midnight sky.
All right, there we go with that. And just to get into the things and the stuffs, here we go, everybody. You're welcome.
Radio video. Boogie with a suitcase. Living in the disco. Forget about the rat race. Let's do the milkshake selling like a hotcake. Buy some beef.
Yeah, there we go. There is our female Sasquatch.
I ever bought on record.
Is it? That's hilarious.
I am, yeah.
That's awesome that was the first thingies of the mabobbers.
That one is great.
72,
yeah, that
73.
is. That sounds about right. Yeah, I can believe that. So let's go ahead and get to our first encounter of big feats or other cryptids. I don't know, of the Rocky Mountains, and we will do a little bit of Appalachians maybe if we have enough time. But I think we have enough stuff for the Colorado and or Rocky Mountain cryptids. And let's start with this. And we will skip around. And I really want to get to more of the footage of it and not just blah, blah, blah. But here's the Colorado River serpent. Dun, dun, dun. Blah, 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 blah. I don't know what's going on anymore.
Number 4. Colorado.
Oh, we're totally going to speed this up like a mug. Well, not that much, but just a little bit at least, because Jesus, you talk so slow, homie.
Colorado River serpent. In the heart of the American West, where the Rocky Mountains cast their formidable shadow over the land, there lies a river woven deeply into...
Oh, guess who? We just had somebody show up, and there are the pastor. Did we say hello to the Sideman chat yet? I'm sorry. Stop the stupid AA. We have an Alderman and
elbows up
and a pastor. Sorry. I get sidetracked very easily, obviously, and like now that I have these this cute lady who is showing me
all up in your business
showing me attention and wants me to help her learn sideshow stuff, I am been distracted the last couple days. So, but we'll talk about that later.
To the fabric of both the landscape and the lore of the United States. This is the Colorado River, a lifeline for the arid regions it traverses.
I've never seen this monster, and I've been around the Colorado River my whole life. But no, it's totally real. But it's totally real. It's totally real.
A central figure in a lesser-known but captivating chapter of American cryptid mythology. Among the tales of strange creatures that inhabit the United States, the story of the Colorado River serpent stands out for its intriguing blend of indigenous lore.
I've never heard of this. I don't know what we're talking about, and like I don't know where there's like actual cases of it other than it's in the Colorado River that's not in Colorado. Oh yeah, that totally makes sense. Yeah, no, it's not up here. They see it down here. That's why I have never heard of it before, because it's actually in the Amazonas. And with all the meth that is in and the drugs that are in the water of Arizona, they see all kinds of weird, crazy shit. I mean, that's a given.
Of those who hear its tale. Descriptions of this elusive serpent vary, but common threads weave through the...
It's usually after I drink all that goddamn meth water, and then I'm like, woohoo!
I saw one with a MAGA hat on.
Why does the water burn?
Hey, mommy, why does the water taste weird? And why do I not sleep for 3 days after drinking 1 cup of it? Yeah, there's a problem when that happens.
I used to point something that size at the toilet a few times a day.
Well, not that size.
Since being in a wheelchair, though,
it was more like
the...
It was more like the first one, but not that size. But maybe. Hey, Commander. All right, so here we blow.
Number 3.
Here is the thing for you, Dave.
Bigfoot.
All hail
Sasquatch.
Bigfoot.
Oh. Everybody hashtag all hail Bigfoot.
In the rugged wilderness of Colorado, amidst the towering peaks of the rock.
That's totally a real photo. That's not AI at all. That's a real photo of Big. I'm just kidding.
Rocky Mountains lurks a legend as old as humanity itself, the elusive creature known as Bigfoot. For generations, tales of this mysterious being have echoed through the valleys.
Hey, Demon Orb. Excuse me, pardon me.
And forests. And
he's ripped like a mug.
That is
chanting the
ripped.
Imaginations of both locals and
dude, he could tear your head off by thinking about it.
Adventurers alike. Colorado, with its vast expanses of wilderness and rugged terrain, provides the perfect habitat for a creature like Bigfoot to roam undetected. From the
yes, but no.
dense forests of the Front Range to the remote region.
It's cold out. It's the snow. It's cold. It's tucked up.
Yeah,
in there.
and that's what And that's what your pubic hair is for, is to make it so your junk is a warm.
Reaches of the San Juan Mountains, reports of encounters with this elusive cryptid have been documented across the state.
But like I always say, just like with the Appalachias, whatever, it's just a new dude that has never taken a freaking shower or he's never shaved in his life, and he's just running around the backwoods just not wearing clothes. I mean, what's more common? A nude fucking hairy guy or something we've never seen before?
The earliest accounts of Bigfoot,
I'm hoping it's a naked guy, but hey, that's just my fantasies, okay? I'm sorry.
In Colorado can be traced back centuries, with Native American tribes sharing stories of a towering, ape-like creature that roamed the mountains long before the arrival of European settlers. Known by various names and different tribal traditions, this creature was often described as a guardian of the wilderness, being both revered and feared in equal measure.
Okay, and
as European settlers
yeah, that's totally a real thing. Okay. So now they're literally just saying, let's get to the lizard man of Colorado for some reason. I don't know.
Number 2. Colorado Springs.
Oh, it's in Colorado Springs. Lizard man, that makes sense. Okay, sorry. I spoke way too soon. A lizard man in Colorado Springs totally makes sense. And if you've never been to Colorado Springs or you have no idea what I'm talking about, no, literally, if there was any place in the world there was going to be a fucking goddamn lizard man that was like out in the public or that we could prove, it would be in Colorado Springs, because there are some fucking weirdos that live there. And I hate to say that because my mom lives there, but no, like Colorado Springs, when you go there, you feel like you're in a time warp. You're like, wait, is this like actually the Earth? Because everybody there is fucking insane. Like, it's crazy how weird everybody in Colorado Springs is. And if you don't believe me,
isn't there a lady that's all done up like a lizard or something, all tattooed and got the implants and everything?
I don't know if she's from the Springs, but yes.
I'm just saying maybe she's over there running around.
No, maybe.
With a he version.
Yeah. And so there is the Garden of the Gods, and there's a bunch of other things. But I swear to God, there's meth in the water, because like everybody down there fucking acts insane, and it's crazy to go down there. Like, you just go down there and sit around and just watch, and you're like, something's wrong here. There's like a weird time warp, or there's some weird void that's happening here. That's like I was leaving events at like 3 a.m. to go back to Fort Collins, and racers are driving around on the freeways with their flashers on and their headlights off. What the fuck is going on? Why would you do that? Like, turn on your fucking lights, right? And then have your, but why the flash? Like, I never have seen that in my entire life. And I've been around racers, and I've been around, like, I grew up around in San Diego and LA, where there's racers everywhere. And also there's sideshows, which I hate that they call them that, but that's where they block down a street and they just fucking do weird, crazy things in these fucking insane cars that are souped up like insane amounts, and they just do donuts, or they do weird, crazy things, or they light on fire or whatever. That's pretty much what Colorado Springs is in a nutshell. Almost is that insanity.
Lizard man. In the heart of the Rocky Mountains, drifting through the rugged terrain and dense forests of Colorado, voices echo of a creature lurking in the shadows, a being that defies explanation and eludes the grasp of scientific understanding. This mysterious entity, known as the Colorado Springs Lizard Man, has consistently drawn the minds of both locals and researchers over the years, fueling...
It's just a guy on a bunch of meth, naked, running around, that his skin is so tight on his body, it looks like he's a reptile, and he's like just sticking at his tongue all the time because he needs more moisture. And that's it. That's all that it is. Because I don't have, if
moisture.
You just moist, yeah. But if we had any other proof, I could say anything else about that.
Speculation and intrigue for decades.
Decades, yeah.
The origins of the Colorado Springs lizard man legend can be traced back to the early 1970s, when reports began to surface of strange sightings in the remote wilderness.
Okay, so it was crack cocaine. It was crack cocaine that
I never heard of that one. That's
no,
a new
I've
one
never
to me.
heard of that either.
No.
Yeah, no, me too. That's why it was fun when I found some of these, and I was like, wait, what are you talking about? Because I've lived in the Rocky Mountains and around these parts for a long time. And once again, here's another one that if you've been around cryptids, you're gonna say, what?
Number 1. Colorado Dogman.
Colorado Dogman.
In the shadow.
Has any of y'all heard about a Colorado Dogman?
I had a guest on the Grassman Chronicles, Stephanie. They gave her account of running into a dogman in Florida. The dogman actually originated in Michigan, but it seems to have traveled.
Yes. So, and once again, we normally would not call this a dogman. It would be more of a wolf, or it would be a dog. I don't know, but like normally we don't really have this in Colorado per se.
We have them in Ohio too.
Yeah, and we would call it a werewolf or something like that, not a dogman. Dogman is more Michigan. So
shadowy realm.
Well, you know, I'll tell you what,
where legends dance with reality.
I think I saw one, and I think I have an explanation. We had a deer out in the front yard one night.
Okay.
And it was eating my wife's flowers, right? Of course. And
what else do they do?
Yeah, yes, but on the security camera, it looked like a big ghostly dog.
Yeah.
Because of the night vision, and how it was, and it looked all white and everything.
Yep.
And I think that if you saw a deer on night vision that didn't have antlers or anything like that, it might explain some dogman, because they say they kind of glow, and that's why I'm interested if they're seeing them on night cameras or with night vision that they're glowing. So, but that's my 2 cents on what it could be, because I thought I saw a giant glowing dog in my front yard.
Yeah. And so once again, like you're just saying, and the exact proof that we go over, do I want all of these things to be real? Fuck yeah. But when we go over the evidence, you're like, okay, we're looking at a camera that it's using this DPI, and then it's using this motion sensor, and it has this thing for its blah, of course it's not that. And yeah, and that's mainly most of like what we're going to be going over in just a second. I wanted to go over like the thingies, and then now we're going to go over the footage of what people are claiming are cryptids, and then we will see the idiocracy. But exactly similarly, what you said pretty much is that it's yeah. Okay, so I'm just gonna do this a little. We're gonna do this a little bit, which is just a little bit more of what's it called, the cryptid stories stuff, and then we'll get into actual footage, because I just want them to go over this silly stuff, because there is the owl.
Dramatic resting place, shrouded in mystery. It is the grave of Theodore Glava, a figure obscured by time, known only as a
So this is in the Colorados, but let's get into the
legend.
The owl
tells a tale about the tree, suggesting it's the ghostly form of the stake that pierced Glava's cursed heart, a strange growth born from his tragic end.
Okay. Let's get. I thought that we was going to talk about the owl, but let's get into Tommy knockers, which is a thing that I think happens in other states, but the best of my knowledge, it is more talked about in the Colorado mines.
For as long as the collective memory of Colorado's mining communities stretches back, the presence of Tommy knockers has been woven into the fabric of their folklore. These small, underground dwellers found their way to Colorado in the 1860s, accompanying Cornish miners who sought their fortune in the rugged depths of the state's mines. Since then, Tommyknockers have become integral to the rich tapestry of Colorado's legends, influencing traditions, and even shaping the landscape of towns like Telluride and Idaho Springs.
Let's see what they're going to say about them before I say things about them. But go ahead. No, go ahead.
That's a Stephen King book and maybe a movie too.
Yeah, no, there's definitely a lot of media about this, but what it is, miners were in the mines, and they would hear noises, voices, knocks, and other bells and other things before tragedies happened. Supposedly, you know how the mines work, and you know how things work. Like before something fails, there's usually a lot of noise before it actually fails. And it could be seconds, minutes, hours, or days before anything happens. So yeah, of course, you're going to hear weird things that are happening. And especially maybe whistles. If water being expelled as a heated gas coming out of a crevice before something falls may go... right? You may hear a whistle. There may be a handful of other noises, things. And if something is about to break and fall apart, it may sound like a knocking because it's
clunking.
What are you going to hear inside your head when you are inside of a cave? It's going to sound like a echoing knock. Obviously, but anyways, but no, it's totally real. There's gremlins inside of caves that totally killed miners, so they couldn't get to the goddamn gold or some bullshit like that, whatever they say.
In the dark, labyrinthine tunnels of Colorado's mines, the Tommyknockers reign supreme. As miners venture deeper into the earth, the likelihood of encountering these small, grisly creatures increases. Remarkably, Tommyknockers seem...
No, it wasn't how dangerous it was the further they went down in the mines. No, it's these mystical creatures that somehow made it dangerous. No, you idiot, you're going into a fucking mine that's fucking dangerous as shite when you go like thousands of feet down, and you don't always have to go exactly down. Sometimes just going 1,000 feet into the bedrock of a mountain, anything, the weight on top of that is fucking insane. And if you did not build the right structure around it, and you don't know the sand, the layers, whatever, the rock, anything, you don't know what to do.
Tommyknockers sounds like a heavy that the mafia send to whack something. Send Tommyknockers.
Yeah, no, it sounds like somebody comes into your restaurant and goes, "Hey, man, if you don't pay us £1,000 a month, we're gonna have Tommyknockers come around here, and everything's gonna be bashed up." Something like that, or
you're like Billy the Nose with them and fucking
yeah, exactly. So, totally. That's what I always thought in the beginning when I heard Tommyknockers, because there's a team called it. Sorry, excuse me, pardon me. And then I realized, oh, it's these thingies.
Seem to take cues from their human counterparts, mimicking miners in their dress, although in miniature form. Their very presence adds an air of mystique and trepidation to the already perilous work of mining.
My precious. Yes, my precious.
That's all you can think about, isn't it?
That's exactly what that looks like right there. Sure. And that's what I always think about these cave dwelling things. I'm always thinking, me precious.
The nickname knocker bestowed upon these creatures finds its origin in the peculiar sounds they emit within the confines of the mines. Some miners interpret these knocks as ominous warnings, presaging imminent cave-ins.
Yeah, because when something's about to collapse, it makes a bunch of noises usually before something happens.
Good sign.
No.
There's a bunch of rocks falling. Could be a cave-in. Yeah, think?
Yeah. You start digging into a certain place and it starts making a bunch of sounds. Yeet, motherfucker. It's not the goblins that are doing it, dumbass. It literally is. Son of a bee sting. It's so funny how much fun this dumb shit is. And just like, it's really trippy, but same thing. When the Americans flew their planes over Germany and they had problems with their engines, they said it was gremlins that were jumping into their engines to cause it harm.
Of course it was.
Somehow from the ground or somehow from somewhere, they were able to go into their planes and cause, because they thought they figured out a way to, they thought they had a great engine. But then when they came back to the Americas, when they were riding their motorcycles in the motorcycle clubs they started in the 1950s, when they had problems with their motorcycles, they said there were the gremlins that were inside of the asphalt that they put the bells on the bottom of the thing. So when the gremlins, and they even did weird things like that as well on the airplanes. But I'm going to keep going. Then that's why you have a bell in the bottom of your motorcycle, because if there is a gremlin in the asphalt that tries to jump into your engine, it will get caught in the bell because it likes the ringing, and then it gets rung around and it gets shot back in to the asphalt, and that's what makes potholes. Yeah, that's fucking insane, right? Anyways,
I love it.
Cracking on. Yeah, no, it's insane. Like, I've heard this like Gremlin Bells story so many times, and I'm like, I've heard vets that were were in the Air Force tell me that their uncle, their grandpa told them that story.
Well, bells and chimes and all that are in a lot of cultures for
definitely
spiritual things and catching spirits or whatever. Yeah,
Tibetan monks have a string of bells they put in certain places to catch bad spirits and shoot them out as well. And same with like the One stuff and things. Like there's and there's instruments that when you play them, they magically expel certain spirits as well. But anyways, let's crack on. Actually, let's just get past the Tommy knockers and get to the dun dun dun, this scary thing right here.
The devil ram, a mysterious bipedal creature, roams the farmlands and pastures of northwest Colorado, casting a shadow of fear wherever it treads. Standing an imposing 7 feet tall on its hind legs, its sleek form is cloaked in a coat of dark brown fur, providing it with a stealthy advantage in the night.
Mom? No, I'm sorry. Never mind. That's Grandma.
Its elongated arms, equipped with formidable claws, grant it both speed and reach, making it a formidable predator in its domain. Its skull, reminiscent of a goat's, is adorned with ram horns that speak to its otherworldly nature. Female devil rams bear horns that curve downward, resembling a menacing headpiece, while males boast horns that jut upward like a crown, adding to their intimidating presence.
Yeah, because they know the difference already, even though scientists don't. But the total conspiracy theorists, they totally know the difference between the male and the females.
This creature is not governed by mere instinct, but rather by a calculated malevolence. Possessing a remarkable intellect, it plans its attacks with precision, never repeating the same strategy twice. Its raids on villages and farms, particularly those with open-range livestock.
That's fucking awesome. Just look at that. That's fucking amazing. That's so great. Okay.
Are infrequent, but devastating, often resulting in significant casualties.
Okay, so now let's get into...
It almost looks like a Krampus type thing, you know?
Yeah, I know. It looks like it. Definitely.
Fathers. Still.
So now let's try to get into...
Other human-like creatures.
Maybe this isn't exactly footage, but let's crack on with... I don't care about the mountain. Screw the mountain giants. I hate that thing. There's no way there's mountain giants. But
other
maybe
human-like creatures said to haunt the Rocky Mountains are the little people, diminutive dwarf-like men and women said to live in caves beneath the mountains.
And I really want this to be true, but I've never found any of them. But anyways.
Grant McEwen touched on the stony conception of these preternatural pygmies, writing, "Not many Indians actually saw them, but hunters often discovered tiny footprints and heard mysterious noises."
That's little children that they... Never mind. I'm so sorry. Okay. That's horrible. All right, so let's go into the...
Another monster said to lurk in Canada's Rocky Mountain forest is a sort of giant predatory owl. Allusions to this ghostly nocturnal bird appear in the traditions of the Kootenai, the southernmost of the indigenous peoples in the Canadian Rockies. Legend has it that, in the mists of prehistory, Kopi, the owl, was a hulking, man-eating monster that made its home in the deep woods.
Why would there be a man-eating owl? Okay, now let's keep going. I son of a bee sting.
Drawn by the sound of crying children, Kopi...
I guess, but like it could catch everything else. Like, how about the dogs at the camp instead of a human? Like, why is it going after the humans? Like, that's fucking weird.
Well, this again, when you see some of those owls in the wild, they're pretty big.
Yeah, and that's true. But once again, we already know. Yeah, and once again, we already know the reason why a lot of these stories are told is it's to scare the children to not go and do blah for a certain reason. Go to the lake at night. Go out into the wilderness. Go into this certain meadow. Go into a swamp. Go do certain things at a certain time. Because it's easier to scare a kid to not do something with a fake thing at first, and then you're supposed to, just like with most religion and other things, when they become a teenager or get old enough, just like with Santa Claus, the Tooth Fairy, and other things, you say, okay, this was fucking fake. We did this as a jokey type thing because it was the easiest way to teach you. Do I believe that's the way that people should do it? Fuck no. But that is how. But you're supposed to afterward tell them that it was fucking fake, just like Jesus and God and other things to some extent. You're supposed to go, yeah, we told you that this person's watching you constantly, blah, blah, blah. But now here's free will. Don't go rape, murder, kill, molest, and other things of the things. Not because you think somebody's watching you, because morals, you twat. Anyways, crack on.
In the night, and snatch the little ones from their beds,
See, that's
carrying
what
them
I'm
off to
talking
his
about.
sylvan lair.
This is the story that they told to the little ones to not leave your bed at night so you wouldn't get snatched away by the large owl who blah, blah, blah for no reason did something. Right?
Well, and when you're living, when you're not living in a city or a village or anything, I mean, it's probably kind of handy to tell them don't wander off. And they used boogeyman stories to say, hey, if you wander off, it's bad things, and keep them close to home.
Yeah, because it's easier to be like, you're gonna get lost, you're gonna starve to death. How do you tell a 5-year-old, an 8-year-old that? You don't. You say there's this boogie thingy mabobbers in the thing, and then like normally what happens when you live in the wilderness, at some point in time, the thing that you're pretending that you're talking about happens in the wilderness. And that's why you say like, this thing happens and and it's just like the deer that are moving around, or it's just something that moves around in the wilderness around you or in the properties that you're like, see, there it is right there. And it's just something silly. But you're supposed to, once people grow up, you're supposed to tell them it's fucking bullshit. And that's the problem with religion, is people don't
just
do
to keep you from wandering off. Yeah.
That's why I read the Bible as children's fucking bedtime stories.
That's what I'm saying. That's what you're supposed to. But anyways, let's crack on to the next thing. He is of the mabobbers.
Giant owls are not the only avian monsters said to soar above the Rocky Mountains.
Yes.
Like other First Nations across the country, the indigenous peoples of the Canadian Rockies believed in the existence of giant horned eagles with the ability to create thunder and lightning, which made their nests in high cliffs, hunting large game and human beings. Although there were many names for these colossal raptors, ethnologists generally referred to them as thunderbirds. According to Jonas Dixon, the Stoney called these preternatural beings.
I'm going to let it play a little bit longer, and then we will talk about what this actually is.
And regarded them as powerful allies of humanity.
Actually, I am going to step away for just a second. We're just going to let this play for just a second. And then when I come back, then we will discuss what this is, because there is an explanation. Technically, Is it the complete explanation? I don't fucking know, but we do have a way to explain some of this, and there's actually documentation of it happening. But again, we'll crack on in just a second. I will be right back. I'm gonna grab another burr because we're gonna keep going with this. Beep. I'm gonna need a little bit more alcohol.
In one traditional story, a thunderbird battled a huge horned water snake near the Rocky Mountain Trench, not far from present-day Field, British Columbia. The powerful Blackfoot, who lived in the prairies east of the Rockies, have traditional stories about thunderbirds that lived in the high mountains, who sometimes left their alpine eyries to hunt bison and human beings in the foothills. The Blackfoot called this creature Omaxipetau, a word which means big golden eagle. The Blackfoot tell a story about a Cree medicine man named White Bear, who was abducted by a thunderbird in the winter of 1850, when he was 28 years old, and lived to tell the tale. At that time, White Bear's band was encamped south of Fort Edmonton, Alberta, an old Hudson's Bay Company post on the North Saskatchewan River. Hunting had been poor the previous fall, and their pemmican stores were low, with fresh meat hard to come by at that time of the winter.
So, like, literally what happened is, all right. So,
head rush. Hey, looking it up, Slim. The biggest wingspans on owls are 6.5 feet across. That's pretty big.
6.9 feet across. I totally believe that. But anyways, yeah. So
whatever works.
What we figured out with this Thunderbird story is there are falcons that will figure out a way to pick up burning branches or other things that are smoldering, like especially after lightning storms, and they will drop them in bushes to get the animals that are inside the bush to yeet, and then it will pick what it wants to eat. And so we already have documentation that certain birds will pick up fire sticks and drop them into places and start fires. And they've actually seen that they've started fires because of this, because they don't understand the concept of what they want to put it in a bush and they think it's going to stop there, but then like wind picks up and then it starts a whole fire. So that's why they call them thunderbirds, because they're starting a whole, forest fire. It didn't know that. It's not that smart. It's just a dumb bird who goes, I know that if I pick up this fucking smoldering thing and I put it in this bush, all of the animals that live in there are going to run out. I got to eat whatever I want. That's the whole thing. Okay, so let's crack on to...
Only you can prevent forest fires.
Only you can prevent falcon fires. Let's see. I don't know what this lost lemon mine thing is. Let's crack on with this. I'm a little interested in
the
this.
1860s, the Rocky Mountains began to be invaded by white prospectors as part of the
goddamn white prospect. Okay, all right, I'll stop.
Of the ever easterly succession of gold rushes, which had characterized the previous decade. Back in 1858, hordes of Californian prospectors descended upon British Columbia's Fraser Canyon, drawn by news of a gold strike made at the confluence of
the Fraser Canyon. Yep,
and the Thompson rivers.
Yeah.
In 1861. At the tail end of this Fraser Canyon gold rush, news of a new bonanza to the northeast incited the Caribou Gold Rush, in which thousands of British, Canadian, and Chinese prospectors flocked to fresh...
Caribou County. Okay, let's keep cracking on. I don't exactly know this area. I know everything else they were talking about just a second ago, but...
what is known as Caribou Country.
Okay.
In 1864...
I know the Caribou Country, just not...
A handful of caribou prospectors, who had wandered east of the boomtowns of Barkerville and Williams Lake, discovered gold on Studhorse Creek, a tributary of the Kootenai River, in the Columbia Mountains not far from the present cities of Kimberley and Cranbrook, BC. When the Wild Horse Creek diggings appeared to be played out...
Okay, so BC is going to be Canadian, so...
Some prospectors ventured further east...
Okay, so that's why I don't know 100% of what we're talking about yet.
...the Rocky Mountains. There, they were joined by wolfers, whiskey traders, and other hard characters who traveled...
Wolfers, whiskey traders, and what I want to hear that again. Please let me hear that
Another
again.
hard
Mountains.
Paris.
There, they were joined
Yeah, okay. I want to hear this again.
by wolfers, whiskey traders, and other hard characters who traveled north from the Montana frontier.
Bow chicka bow wow. Oh, from the Montana frontier. Ooh, kinky.
Many of whom had searched for the yellow metal in the hills outside Bend,
I don't know what I'm
who were
just
eager
trying
to
to
try
get
their luck
commentary.
in one of the last great gold rushes of the Wild West. Two of the region's most famous prospectors, responsible for what has been called the greatest mystery of the Canadian Rockies, are characters cloaked in enigma. An ill-fated pair, known only as Lemon and Blackjack. The former giving his name to a legendary bonanza, known as the Lost.
I mean, who doesn't want to hang out with Lemon and or Blackjack as the nickname for these gents?
Lemon Mine. Although there are many different versions of this legend, all agree on one point, that there is a wealth of lost gold, hidden somewhere on the eastern slopes of Canada's rock.
Yeah, obviously there's most likely some fucking gold hidden somewhere in mountains that are that big, you dumb cunts. But where, why, and how, and do you want to risk your life fucking getting there? Beep. No, idiots.
Mountains.
You can find gold like literally just like up the road from me if you just like go to the Poudre River, or you just like go to things and you just like put things out and you just like put things in. You literally can find gold right next to the fucking little in the Poudre River that I'm next to, which is like a mile away from me or some bull. Like, it's hilarious. Yeah, dumbass, go into the middle of butt fucking nowhere and go try to fucking find gold, you idiot. You idiot.
Even in British rivers, you can pan in there and find. I mean, it's nothing. Like, you know, it's not going to like change your life. You probably use more energy than what it's worth to find it, but you'll find it. Little tiny specks of gold.
There are literally like gold, you know, like river, you know, the whatever sifting fucking camps here. And you can like get at least like flakes of fucking gold constantly here. Like, if you really wanted to, you could get gold here. But like Dog was just saying, is it worth your time? Like, I mean, you can get it, but do you want to just keep like sitting there at a river for fucking 8 hours a day and getting flake and flake and flake, and then sit there and like, no, I'm not really down for that. I'd rather just go spend 20 minutes a day getting paid $150 or more and other things to swallow a sword. I'm cool with that. Like, no, I get paid to not work. Anyways. And I know it's not for everybody, obviously. And then we sit here and we do this dumbass shit too. But I mean, like, it literally, like, what would you rather do? Work your arse off to like go into the butt fuck middle of nowhere mountains and freeze your arse off to find this much fucking gold? Or would you rather just, I don't know what else you could do. Anything else.
All the big stuff is, you need big machinery and all that. You got to have the money up front to have that kind of a company to begin with. Otherwise, you go out, have fun. Maybe you find some flakes. Maybe you get lucky and find a nugget, right? But you're not more in the hobby area.
Yeah, if you watch like Gold Diggers, I mean, no, it's called like Gold Panners or Gold whatever's, and there's like 4 different thingies on whatever channel, right? You know, there's the sea gold, there's the regular gold, there's the Sasquatch gold, there's the other gold. Yeah, no, they have like Sasquatch gold. They have millions of dollars that are tied in to using equipment like the Alaskan gold stuff. I watched that the other day. I never knew that was a thing, Emo Bobber, 100%. And I was like, are you kidding me? These motherfuckers put on diving suits and they have these suction things and they go down at the bottom of these lakes in Alaska and they just suck it up and then they sift through and find gold. And I'm like, that's a way more. You guys are on crack. That to get. I mean, seriously. Do they make a $250,000 sometimes in a season? Maybe. But dude, how much money do you spend? And like, what happens when you get hypothermia, or when your equipment fails, or when like everything breaks down and now you're stuck and you just die of hypothermia in the middle of butt fuck nowhere?
Or you're in a bad spot and you got bills to pay, and
or
hit
what?
or miss.
Yeah, and what if you don't find anything? Exactly similarly.
Right.
Like if you don't find crap, then now you're beeped as well. So it's like, Jesus, what are we talking about? Okay, so now let's get into Jack Lander's pocket watch. I have no idea what this is. I have no idea what we're talking about anymore.
Sounds
Canada's brief and fiery Wild West came to an end in 1874, when the government of the 7-year-old Dominion of Canada sent the Northwest Mounted Police to the Western Plains to establish British law and order. 7 years later, European navvies and Chinese coolies, under the leadership of William Cornelius Van Horn, began construction on the Canadian Pacific Railway, or CPR, the Great Iron Thoroughfare.
Goddamn the CPR. No, I'm just kidding. It's great. No, what they did actually made it so that Canada is actually working way better than the Americas right now, for sure.
Connect the Atlantic Ocean with the Pacific. In 1884, on the recommendation of surveyor and former U.S. cavalry officer Major A.B. Rogers, the railroad was built through the Rocky Mountains.
He said, we're going to make this goddamn railroad as big as my motherfucking goddamn mustache and beard. Sorry, I'm done. I knew that's not how Canadians talk, but...
Mountains by way of the perilous Kicking Horse Pass. After laying ties...
Kicking Horse Pass. Yes, that's the best name of her. Well, besides Deer Piss Pass, that... Kicking Horse Pass is the best one.
...and rails over this divide. The CPR's workforce of underpaid laborers continued building the road along the northern routes of adjacent Mount Stephen, creating a steep and dangerous declivity, which would come to be known as the Big Hill.
The Big
Before it was
Hill.
replaced by the spiral tunnels in 1909,
oh, baby.
this 8-mile horror, as historian Pierre Burton put it, was responsible for a series of deadly disasters, one of which is connected with an eerie Rocky Mountain mystery. In July 1962, one Julie C. Crawford, the daughter of a senior CPR locomotive engineer named Matthew Fulton Crawford, helps an...
He's the daughter of it. Never mind. I know what they said, but that's so misleading with his photo. And they said that. Never mind.
Article about her father's strange experiences on the Canadian Pacific Railway. The last of Julie's stories is set in January 1904, when both her father and her easygoing uncle, John Jack Ladner.
So what you're saying is you guys were out in the middle of butt fucking nowhere that you've never been before because you're city folk, and you may have been like, not climatized to what's going on, and maybe you have drank things, maybe you've eaten something bad, maybe there's a handful of things that could have happened, and you saw weird things happening in the middle of butt fucking nowhere. No way. No, you can't. Yeah, fuck you.
Never happens.
Yeah, no, I've totally been there, done that. And I knew when I was hallucinating, it was because I ate bad food and then changed my elevation and then drank alcohol.
I knew.
I went storm out the front door the one day after we had snow and the sun was out, and I was blinded,
Yeah, I know, and that too. There's
sorry, dog. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say altitude sickness can cause hallucinations as well.
Yeah, and if you drink on top of that, or you eat bad food, or you're on tour, and you have to, so many things stack on top of things that make you experience. Like I've said again and again, and I'll keep saying again and again, our consciousness is a hallucination. Our body is not supposed to understand this well enough to go this far, and our memory is not supposed to be something that actually remembers everything. It's just supposed to be triggered off of senses, like fight or flight, pleasure, non-pleasure, I guess is the best way to put it. So, and then once again, like they always say, all the psychologists say this, the last time that you recall a story is the last time that you remembered it and you said it. So every time you say it, the fish keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Supposedly my cock reaches the ISS by now. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how many times I've talked about my genitalia that's detachable in a penis. And never mind, we'll talk about it later. But anyways, that's how the world works. Our brains are not supposed to remember things properly. It's not because it doesn't want us to. It's just it doesn't know how to let us do that. And that's the problem. We're faulted because we're an animal and we run off of triggered senses as well. And that's another thing. It mattered on what heightened sense you were in when certain things happened as well. You know what I'm saying? So how much alcohol were you on? How much testosterone were you on? How hard was your cock? You know, how wet was your pussy?
Just out of your element. Just out of your element. You don't have to go out in the wilderness. I'm thinking, just a dark alley, and all of a sudden it's dark, it's quiet, and there's a cat in the trash can, and you know what I mean?
Yeah. Or if you've never walked in front of a car that was running a red light and it barely missed you. How misconstrued could you make that with if that's been the first time you've ever had to deal with that? Or if somebody's shot at you, or you think that that's happened, or this or that. There's so many things that can get you, like, I believe they say that like almost 90% of the time eyewitnesses are wrong about most of the things they claim. Did they experience it, or did they say there's this, that? Sure. But they say like most of the time they actually aren't reliable because they get the clothing wrong. They get how many shots wrong. Because one of the things that happens with the human existence for some weird reason, and I've experienced this, if somebody shoots a gun around you, sometimes you do not remember the right number of shots. Sometimes people hear one shot and they blank out the rest of it because their brain freaks the beep out. So that person might have unloaded the clip, and that person will be like, I only heard one shot. And then you talk to everybody else, or you talk to other people, and they're like 1, and then 3, and then 5, and then 9. And you're like,
survival mode kicks in, and you aren't worried about details. You're just worried about saving your old behind.
Yeah, and again, sometimes
and or those around you. Yeah.
And your brain blanks out to certain small extents and does other weird and again, our brain is not made for us to remember everything.
Yeah.
Because that's not how an animal brain works. It's supposed to fight. And hey, Schizophrenia, how are you doing? Let's go ahead and play our channel sponsors thingies of them of ours. Ouch, that's gotta hurt. Okay, all right. So, anyways, that's what happens with stuff. So let's crack on. Let's get to one of the next things. Let's go to this. Oh my gosh, so scary.
The curious case of Jack Ladner's pocket watch is not the only Rocky Mountain mystery connected with the Canadian Pacific Railway. Back in 1888, William Cornelius Van Horn, the man who oversaw the construction of the transcontinental track, was appointed president.
Didn't know how to tie his own. I'm just kidding. That's not what it was.
With the dream of attracting wealthy European tourists seeking a luxury wilderness experience, Van Horn envisioned a castle in the Rockies, a grand railway hotel towering above the confluence of the Bow and Spray River.
So what they did is, when he pointed to where the railroad is going to be built, they bronzed him right on that site. I'm just kidding.
Rivers in the quaint mountain town of Banff. During the first year of his presidency, he commissioned American architect Bruce Price with the design of a world-class establishment that would become an icon of the Canadian Rockies.
This is in the middle of butt fucking nowhere, Canada, right? If I understand this properly. Why? I don't know why. It's almost like
it's a beautiful location, and it's right on a railway track.
Well,
why not?
Was it or wasn't it? Was it at the time?
That's what
Did
he just
they already
said.
built the? Okay. That may be.
Yeah, I think he wanted the track right there so he could just pull up to his mansion.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He did this. He made it so they could have this shit in the buttfuck middle of nowhere, which is what is going to be one of the problems, just like the Stanley Hotel in Estes Park. But let's crack on, and then we'll get to why this was probably a bad idea.
the Banff Springs Hotel. Since its grand opening to the public, this magnificent Scottish baronial-style palace, rebuilt in 1910 from the limestone of Mount Rundle, has housed guests from all over the world, among them Marilyn Monroe, Queen Elizabeth II, and Helen.
And my dick. Sorry, I'll stop.
Keller.
Stop.
According to a number of legends, ostensibly born from the first-hand accounts of hotel patrons and staff, some of these guests never checked out. The Fairmont Banff Springs Hotel is home to a number of ghostly stories.
Yeah, ruh-roh.
All of which the hotel officially denies. At least one of the Banff Springs' supposed ghostly guests is said to haunt the missing room 873 on the 8th floor. According to hotel lore, a man, while staying with his wife and young daughter in room 873, murdered his family before committing suicide. As the story
allegedly
goes, the spirit of the young girl, and in some versions the spirit of her mother, never left the room. Guests who stayed in room 873 after its reopening reported being awoken in the night by violent shrieks, and the chambermaids who routinely cleaned the room would report finding bloody fingerprints on the bathroom mirror.
Wait, why are you calling them chambermaids still? What is going on anymore? Wait, never mind. I'm just gonna keep going. I'm not even gonna, that's weird.
I could not be washed off. In response to the disturbing reports, hotel management sealed off the room, the vicinity of which is said to be haunted to this very day.
Unless you want to pay $2,000 a night to stay in there. And, oh my God, then maybe you're going to see something weird. That's what they always do. They always make it so you can't get there unless you spend enough money to. Anyways, okay, so here's the next ghost.
40 minutes up the Icefield Parkway from Banff is the hamlet of Lake Louise, named after an iconic glacial lake which lies at the foot of Mount Lefroy. Towering over the lake's northeastern end is another of the CPR's Grand Railway hotels, the Fairmont Chateau.
So there's another chateau. There's another hotel that's very old, and there's ghosts in it. Shut the fuck up. Nuh-uh, you're lying. There's no way there's ghosts
by the
in
same chain.
all of the... Well, again, what do you do when you have anything? A property, or you have some kind of running business? The easiest thing to make money off of it is to have ghosts, cryptids, anything that's mystical, that you can get people to jerk themselves off and or finger themselves thinking about how they're experiencing something which is otherworldly. I mean, it's the easiest thing in the world to make money off of.
Lake Louise. Built around the turn of the 20th century, this luxury establishment has ghost stories of its own, some of which were shared with me by a former hotel employee named Katie M.
She shared all the secrets with me that one night when we got drunk at the bar at the hotel, and we went up to her room, and she spread all the secrets to me about the. Anyways, I never mind.
She was a
Like the Banff Springs.
Yeah, and then, that was the biggest clitoris I ever seen. It poked me in that many times. Anyways.
The Chateau Lake Louise has an elevator that inexplicably opens and closes on its own.
Yeah, that means you need to fix your elevator, dumbass. That's not a fucking ghost, you twat.
This road lift is located near the staff cafeteria at the back of the hotel, in an area with crimson carpet known
Jesus Christ.
as the Red Room. Staff lore has it that, back in the 1920s,
yeah, you just need to have somebody fucking fix your elevator. What's an elevator fixer called? You just need to get one of those in there, whatever.
That's when the people say lights are flickering in their house, and it's like, you should probably get your switches changed out or something. It's.
Well, that's the other funny thing. When I was in my late teens, I would exorcise ghosts and demons and other things out of houses, and you know what I would do is I would just tighten up screws on their windowsills and their door frames, and I would just fix their house up while they weren't looking, and I would charge them hundreds of dollars, and then the ghost disappeared, in quotes. Dumbass, you're a fucking idiot. You had squeaky windows, you fucking had things that went and creaked, and you had other things that were happening because you didn't understand how. Or I'd be like, the electrical in your house is from the 1920s and we're in the 1990s. When
you get one of those rotary switch things, it's probably time to upgrade,
Well, yeah, and I'm like, this isn't this outlet isn't grounded right.
Or no ground.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. And then once it got grounded, oh my God, now I don't feel like there's somebody watching me all the time. Yeah, you idiot, because you were being like electrically shocked, kind of technically, with the magnetic field that was around you every time you walked into that room, you dumb cunt, because it wasn't fucking grounded. That's why you were being electrocuted technically without being like, that's why you put a 3-prong. That's why you do this. That's why fucking there's OSHA. That's why we have regulations, you fucking idiot. You go into an old house and you feel weird things. It's usually because things are not set up properly, because either they're decaying or they were not set up for the right way they're supposed to be. Like, you go to grandpa's house. Go ahead.
I was going to say bad foundations can make a house creak all fucking the whole of its life.
Yeah.
Well, that, and you didn't put the fucking housing, the framing of the housing 100% 90 degrees.
And
the foundation.
Old homes aren't insulated well either. And one of the classics is, I feel a cold draft in this room, right? And it's like, probably.
You're like, you look at the window right next to grandma that's sitting in the rocking chair. You're like, yeah, you obviously feel a cold draft. That window has no freaking any kind of insulation around it. It's obvious.
No R factor.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, dude, it's literally anytime like a breeze comes across, you're sitting right next to it, idiot. Like, oh my Jesus, like, sit in this corner over here, and you're not going to be sitting next to the draft completely right. Oh my God, people are so.
Go to a modern apartment that's HVAC, and all of a sudden there's no cold draft anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Amazing.
Oh my God, the ghosts have gone away, idiot. Yeah. Oh my Jesus Christ. It's so silly and stupid when you just like go.
Well, my question always is, if you can transcend death, Slim, are you going to hang around your apartment or your house or whatever? Hell no, I'm going to go see the universe or something, right? You're some kind of ball of energy or something, and then you're stuck wandering around some hallway. It just seems now wait a minute. That's quite a power. That's quite a thing that you've manifested into after death, and then you're still stuck in your apartment or whatever. It sounds ridiculous.
And it's so funny that
the world ghosts.
It's so funny how the ghosts always talk in a language that always is the person who is there, whatever. And they're like, oh my God, they're from the Civil War, but they speak completely normal English. No, they would not.
I have a meme of the ghost hunters like in Germany or something, speaking English to these Germanic tribes that lived there thousands of years ago or something. It's like, they understand you.
And even if maybe they could pretend, let's just say that they could talk to us in the language that we speak, maybe that's still so far-fetched that doesn't make any sense. But I love how the ghosts are usually from these certain periods that people know of those periods. They're never from a period that somebody's like, I've never heard of this period before. And then like somehow I feel they've been from it. You know what I'm saying? It's always like, oh, they're this old lady or milkmaid from blah, blah, blah. And you're like, where did you learn about that? Oh, and a thingy mabobber. You're like, okay, so
you often get stuck in the outfit that you posed for in a painting that's hanging on the wall too.
Yeah,
that you probably only wore once, but yet when you become a ghost, for some reason you're going to be in that outfit. What a coinkydink.
And even though you died 600 years ago, you can only use a TV as a conduit.
When the static is there,
or that silly little fucking voice box bull crap, or the other silly little things. No,
well, the late great Houdini said if there was a way, he would find it. And they had the seances, they had the recording devices.
He did everything.
There was a secret word and everything.
Yep.
Nothing. So if Houdini couldn't do it, what are your chances of figuring it out? That's what you got to ask yourself.
Yeah. And then what's his name that did that? The awesome, amazing, he put up $10,000 for his site.
Oh, Randy.
Randy.
Thank you. Same difference. Him and what did he do? He debunked so many people.
Oh, he debunked them all.
Oh, yeah. Yuri Geller on the Tonight Show and the big pastor that he took down too, that was using the earpiece and stuff. Those were really big ones he took down.
Yeah, exactly. Similarly.
And there's also a video where he started a thing too, right? They made up this guru guy and they gave him a guru name and they publicity and all this and everything. And he was up there just spouting whatever James Randi was whispering in his ear that he was just mumbo jumbo he made up. And these people were all starting to fall for it, and they had to call it quits early because he was worried that they were starting to believe in it. That's how easy it is.
Yeah, totally. Okay, so let's just do. Let me just double check this really quick, and I don't really have that much real footage in the what's-it-called for. Jesus. The Rocky Mountains. But let's go ahead and do the Bigfoots really quick.
All hail Bigfoot.
Deep within Colorado's vast wilderness, where towering pines cast an eternal twilight upon the forest floor, there lies a mystery as old as the mountains themselves. It is here, in the dense, shadowy forests, that the legend of Bigfoot looms large. For generations, whispers have circulated amongst hunters, hikers,
dun dun dun. Okay. Here we go.
And those who called these woods home. Stories of a creature unlike any other.
Oh, sorry.
A being of immense size and strength, leaving behind only fleeting glimpses.
Hey, Commander. Hey, Commander. How are you doing?
All right. Ready to enjoy some fun and laugh with friends.
Sweet. I hear myself in the background.
Yeah, you got bad echo.
Yeah, so change the audio settings really quick.
Described as a towering ape-like creature covered in
That's
thick, matted
totally
hair,
real.
Bigfoot
That's
has
totally
been a subject
real.
of both fear and intrigue. Some dismiss it as mere folklore, the product of overactive imaginations and long nights spent under a canopy of stars. But others, those who claim to have seen the creature with their own eyes, speak of a primal fear, a sense of being...
Okay, let's see if we actually get to it besides... I thought I just saw what we watched earlier, but that's okay. It's okay. So here.
It is an enigma that haunts the remote corners of the state.
Is it not going to actually show anything? Of course not.
Of course not. Okay.
I hear myself again in the background. Yep. Okay. Let's see. What's blah? I don't know what that is yet.
From the towering peaks, we descend into the quiet valleys where, nestled amongst the rolling hills, lies the unassuming town of Lafayette, Colorado.
Okay, Lafayette.
Here, amidst the tranquility of suburban life, a chilling tale unfolds, a story that whispers of darkness lurking beneath the surface of the mundane. It begins, as many such stories do, with a stranger. Theodore Fodor Glava, an immigrant from Transylvania.
I'm glad that's... Okay, let's see if now...
Try again.
All right, so is it working?
Yes, it works now.
Arrived in the early 1900s.
So how are you doing?
All right, just got off work. They didn't have a trailer. And this week has been poor as far as miles go. So hopefully next week will be better.
Let's hope, yes.
Escaping hardship in his homeland in search of a new beginning. Little did the townsfolk know that Glava harbored a secret, one that would forever link his name to the macabre. He kept to himself mostly, a solitary figure working as a coal miner, his past shrouded in mystery.
He was a coal miner? Oh, sorry, coal miner, never mind. And that's what Trump said earlier today or yesterday. It's clean energy.
Some whispered of strange rituals, of an aversion to sunlight, and an unsettling glint in his eyes. Then, the influenza pandemic of 1918 swept through the country, leaving a trail of grief and sorrow in its wake. Lafayette was not spared, and among its victims was the enigmatic Fodor Glava. But his death, unlike the others, was just the beginning of a far more sinister chapter. Following Glava's burial,
This is cute. This is so cute. They booked death.
The thing. Yeah, they booked death.
Yeah. So that's what
joke's
that
on
was.
you, Death.
So, yes. So let's get to the dumbest cryptid of Colorado.
I don't know. That was pretty dumb. That was pretty dumb.
No, I know. But have you heard
The
this?
mountain whale.
Yeah, the mountain whale.
Giant mountain whale that slides downhill to eat tourists.
Okay, I was
on
wrong.
Slopes until someone walks by.
Oh,
then
God.
launches itself.
Yeah. Well, let's listen to this again.
Colorado's dumbest
The
creature is a
mountain
giant
whale.
mountain whale that slides downhill to eat tourists. It hides on slopes until someone walks by, then launches itself like a nature-powered slip and slide of doom. It's
The mountain whale.
Yeah. And literally, I could not see this when I was looking up stuff for Colorado cryptids. There's
Of
so
course,
many
you have to
accounts.
look at it. I hear you, Slim. You have to look at that.
Right
I mean,
there.
come on.
It's right.
Yeah.
It's right
launches
here.
itself like a nature-powered
It's right
slip and slide of doom. It's the only monster that requires both gravity and poor trail etiquette.
Oh, God. This is great.
Yeah.
The fucking
trail
mountain
etiquette.
whale.
Yeah,
Next time you're hiking, make sure you look uphill.
Okay, so let's get into. Okay, so these aren't necessarily well.
I'm sorry, you got to play that one more time, Slim. You got to
Please,
play
Slim.
that one more time.
Okay. Let's play
You
it
just
one
gotta.
more time.
Colorado's dumbest cryptid is a giant mountain whale that slides downhill to eat tourists. It hides on slopes until someone walks by, then launches itself like a nature-powered slip and slide of doom. It's the only monster that requires both gravity and poor trail etiquette.
That's great. You need to save that one. That's a good one.
So it's Reapers and Weepers is the name of the channel. But let's go ahead and do this. And how do I let me just double check? No, okay, share. I'm gonna go ahead and do this. And it will be in our Dism Accords.
Cool.
We'll put it in there, yes. So there we go. You're welcome, everybody.
That was a good find.
There we go. Yeah. I saw it so many times, but this was the best representation of it. And so I was like, no, we're totally going to do this one. So I know we're not talking about the Appalachian Mountains because that's over there. But let's just do a little bit of this really quick, and then we'll end.
Where I currently am shut
It's
down.
the mountains.
I'm in Appalachia.
Imagine this. It's night.
Yeah. And so let's go with some Appalachian and stuffs. So here is the.
Are you getting away from the meth and you go into moonshine now?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. There you go.
I'm shut down outside the Sprint.
Okay. So here is the Appalachian Mountains.
This video was shot by a
footage.
farmer who heard the strange sounds on his property. This man is known as Gary Medlin from northern Pennsylvania. Gary owns a small.
Okay, so we're just going to let it play. So from here, and this is what you're looking at. Supposedly there's something right here.
Son of a bitch.
Son of a bitch. It's right there. It's right there.
All right, whatever you are, you need to leave.
You need to get
Stay
the
out of
fuck
this
out of
place.
here.
This is our-
Get on out here. That's what he said. He said that.
Yeehaw.
Let's see. Now they hear this.
You can hear a loud, long, terrifying scream. As soon as Steve heard it, he immediately stopped recording and.
Yeah, it couldn't be some weird crackhead in the wilderness smoking drugs and trying to get you away from them because they hear you.
ran
No,
home.
it's totally
This forest is very
something
feature
else.
among the locals. It also crosses the well-known Appalachian.
It's on the Appalachian Trail. So they never, you don't ever really hear that well. So let's get into just one more thingies of the Mavovers over here, which is this.
I've been hearing the sound in the back of my woods.
I'm walking in the middle of the woods, drunk as fuck, but here I see something. I don't know.
Quite a bit.
Oh. What in the fuck is that?
The fucking mountain whale.
Oh my god, there was something in there. It's an animal.
Size of it, though. It's a mountain whale.
It was definitely a
mountain whale.
Alien. Yeah.
That was a deer or something.
It could be anything.
The man was probably walking.
It could be anything. It could be totally. It could be anything.
Then they messed with it probably.
Okay.
The first time it looked like a deer. The next time it looked like it was fake.
Yeah, once again, it could be 150 million things. Like, honestly, it could be fake. It could be faked in 150 ways. It could be real, and it could be 12 to 15 different animals. It could be so many things.
Yeah,
it could be the
it looked like a deer.
being fucked up. It could be.
Yeah, it looked like a deer kind of, but then when it looked around, like they put a different, put an alien thing to it or something.
Oh, those beady eyes. Those beady eyes, whenever you see them in the truck,
it could be anything.
You're like, don't jump in front of me. Don't jump in front of me.
Yeah. But it could be anything. Look at that. It could be any goddamn
It's a deer.
It could be 150 million.
Yeah. It's a deer. I'm going with a deer.
Sure. I'm down with that for sure. But again, it could be 12 different things, and or somebody just put a fucking mask that has reflective eyes sitting on top of a branch that's right there, or anything.
Well, and when they say they
it might
disappeared
be
or
Monterey
something,
Taylor Green just waiting to pounce.
It could be my ex-wife vagina sitting on top. I don't know.
Well, and when they say it just disappeared, a deer kicks a couple times and it's gone. You know what I mean? They can just disappear
totally.
Figuratively.
Again, and it could be a gazillion and a half goddamn beeping things, if you know what I mean. All right, so let's check this out.
Imagine just being lost out here.
Imagine being lost out here, and then I see like something that I never seen before.
It feels like this would never end.
Oh, fuck, it will end.
And
you're about to be raped by Bigfoot, my boy.
It's gonna be.
It's Blair Witch nonsense.
Hey, it's his cousin that dresses up as Bigfoot that rapes him in the woods. It's not actual Bigfoot.
And his other brother Daryl.
Yeah, no, it's his cousins. They go, "Hey, boy, I heard something in the woods. Go out there," and they just get in their Bigfoot outfits and they just bend them over.
And Balding Jr., you get out there and see that.
That's how they make it legal, because they can't prove it was Daryl and Bobby.
Oh, hi.
Okay, we know where that's going. I mean, literally, that's the things of the. Okay. So we're just gonna end it on this because, like, the rest of we've already seen. Well, let's just show this. We've already seen this, though. We've already seen it.
KOAA.com. Bree?
Well, thank you, Tony. The next video has a lot of people asking questions. And
Sorry, I forgot about this. This just happened in Pueblo. This this morning. I don't know, but here we below.
Well, thank you, Tony. The next video has a lot of people asking questions and doing a double take.
Yeah, take a real good look at this.
It's a bear with mange.
This creature was spotted over the weekend in Pueblo, and the video on Facebook has been watched by thousands of people.
So what is this thing right here? We reached out to Colorado Parks and Wildlife because of the way the animal is seen using its front paws. They think it's a raccoon with mange, but they're not 100% sure.
Yeah, with the size that it is. Yeah, it's probably that.
sure.
I thought it was a bear, but they're probably right. It's probably a raccoon.
I don't know. So, if you do see this creature, reach out to workers at CPW's office.
If you see this creature, go ahead and shoot it and kill it so we can get it, and then we can turn it into
eat it.
something. I don't know.
Eat it.
Okay, so here we're gonna go. We're gonna end on this.
Hey,
Thank y'all
before
very
you do
Go
that,
ahead. Yeah,
Slim,
no,
I was
totally.
going to ask you to play that one more time because according to
Which
my
one?
ticker, it says I have 500 subs. So if you could play the Bigfoot for me one more time, I'd appreciate it.
Which Bigfoot?
The Bigfoot lady, right? The one that you got right there.
Oh, this one. This one.
Yeah. Yep. And thanks everybody for 500 subs. Woohoo!
Yes, definitely. And there we go. All right, folks.
Awesome.
Thank you all very much. And go show Bigfoot Bay some love. And make sure you're subscribed and hit the bell notifications and all the things and stuff. Go look at all the things and fun stuff they've done. Anyways, thank you very much. We will see you. I don't know if the Pip's going to be doing something tomorrow, and or hopefully. I don't have a show until Sunday, but I don't know if I'm going to be things out on the town yet. But I'll let everybody know, and so will everybody. So tomorrow we'll let everybody know in the morning. Go ahead.
And hopefully Saturday or Sunday, because I got my internet speed back. I have a collection of the best rants from the internet.
Okay. So everybody go and check that out, and that will happen whatever day. And Dave, do you have anything you want to say before we get the beep out of here?
Saturday Night at the Atheist every Saturday night at 5 p.m. Eastern. And this week we're going to try a dual thing with Math Pig. So come by and check it out.
Dave, will you please put a link in the cinema chats for whatever you would like, same with Commander and anybody else in the cinema chats who is blue and you don't know where to go to, put it on the Ritz. Anyways, go ahead and do that, and we will see you all in the near future for here. I do need a little bit more of watch time. So if anybody doesn't mind just looking or rewatching or checking out just the regular videos on my channel that are not the streams, which are my past performances and other things. We just need a little bit more watch time just to double check that I get paid for this month. So thank you all very much for being here. We'll see you all in the near future. Love you all. Please, again, subscribe and or double check that you are, and please hit the bell notifications. Like these stream and or other videos that maybe you've not seen, and go and check them out and look at them, and just at least go and like the different videos on this channel. And if you could share or comment, once again, Brainless said 7 words. So even if you put like a couple of bleh, 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 bleh 7 times or something, that will be sufficient enough for the algorithm to pick it up, so that they will boost us, so more people will see us. And that's what we want, is we want more people to see this stupidity that we do on this channel. So once again, thank you very much for being here. We'll see you all later. Love you all, and we'll see you next time. We're gonna get the fuck out of here. Bye.
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 Thank you.